Larry Mail?
Here we go. Number 1. Does anybody know this one by heart? Square root of 169? 13. For B, now, square root of 4. Oh, what the heck? I don't know why it's that color.
I like that color.
I do too.
Yellowish.
Hey.
Yellowish. I was thinking. Okay, anyways. What times itself equals 4 over 81? Well, what's the square root of 4?
2 over 9.
2, what's squared? Because 2 ninths times 2 ninths is 4 over 81, right? Just top times top. So really you just do the square root of the top and square root of the bottom. That looks weird. Back up in time. Go forward in time. Alright. And square root of negative 49. What should we put for that?
7i.
7i. I would accept that. The directions say if no real root exists, state so. So they wanted you to put no real root. But, yeah.
Do you have a preference?
I don't know. On number 2, are any of those have no real root? On number 2, do any of those problems have any no real root? No. No. Why not?
We actually because number 1.
But
Okay.
it's a negative.
Okay, cubed roots can have a negative root because a negative times a negative times a negative is still negative. So number 2, they should all have actual answers. Number 3, 4th root of 729. Uh-oh. This is Crystal's specialty. Crystal, did you say you want to do this one earlier? Are you sure? We're on number 3. 3a. How can I simplify 4th root of 729? Uh-oh, the calculator doesn't do it.
You figure it out.
Trees. Guess what goes into 79 or 729?
Minecraft has trees.
You guys remember the nines trick from 7th grade?
If it has a 9 at the end, or if they add up to something, 9 can go into.
7 plus 2 is 9, plus 9 is 18. If 9 can go into it, 18, then 9 can go into 729.
Yeah.
3 could work too, the 3 trick works too. Doesn't really matter, but 9 goes into 72 8 times, goes into 9 once. Look at all those 3. Now what do I do with this information?
1, 3 gets out.
So 4th root, right, so you need 4 of them for the 3 to escape. So 1, 3 is going to escape. And what do we do with these 2 left behind?
Put them, leave them in the
inside.
Yeah, so 1, 3 escapes. And then 3 times 3 is left behind, basically. So there's a 9 in there. Oh, wait, I said I did something wrong. Or did they do something wrong?
I think they did.
Huh?
What did they did?
Do you think they got it wrong? Did
Oh,
you
no,
look it
I
up in
worked
the
out,
back?
no, but I worked it out this, like, went by myself and I got the same answer.
Yeah, there's no way that's not 3 to the 6th. Yeah, I think the book made an error.
Stupid book.
Oh, no, I know what they did. They simplified this a little bit. The 4th root of 3 squared is also the square root of 3. It's like 3 to the 2 fourths reduced to 3 to the 1/2.
Hmm?
You guys remember this trick?
Yeah.
That kind of reduces like 3 to the 1/2, which is the same thing as square root of 3. So they didn't put, instead of putting 3 times the 4th root of 9, they put 3 square root of 3. That's okay, that's a tricky one. And that was naughty of them. Okay, B, fourth root of negative 81. What should we do about that? Is it possible to have a fourth root of negative 81?
No.
A real root, I should say? No. It's not really an I either. I don't think they've defined it at all. Why is this impossible?
It's an even.
You can't have a fourth root of negative one.
You can't have four of the same thing multiplied to get negative. If you do a positive, like let's say we said the answer was negative 3. But what's negative 3 to the fourth? Positive 81, not negative. Or what's positive 3 to the fourth? It's also 81, not negative. So this is not a real thing.
So no solution?
No, well, put no real root for B. This is 3B. Let's put no real solution, actually, not root. No real solution. Don't they wrote no real root? No, they put root. That's okay.
We're right there, wrong.
No, it means the same thing. They're synonyms.
It's like, cinnamon toast and crunch.
My favorite cereal. Cinnamon toast crunch.
Jordan, you're sleeping too. You didn't get a roll.
Okay, fourth root of 10,000. Some of you might be able to do this without a calculator. What would the fourth root of 10,000 be?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys remember the tricks? When you multiply by tens, you just keep adding a zero on. So this is like 4 tens multiplied together. So the fourth root of 10,000 just is 10. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, number 5. This is like that big old worksheet that we did. We turned in yesterday. Cube root of negative 72 x to the 5th. So what do I need to do with let's start with the negative 72. What do I need to do with that? Do the tree, right? What goes in 72?
8.
8 times 9. Yeah, I'm kind of cheating here. 8 is 4 times 2, but the 4 becomes... So anyways, 2 times 2 times 2. And 3 times 3. What do I do with that information? So,
2.
yeah, since I have a cube root, I need a triple to be able to come out. I have a triple 2, so the 2 is going to come out, and the 3 is going to stay behind. And what do we do with the letters?
You take a negative out as well.
It's 5 over.
Yeah, just a second. 5 divided by 3 is, how many times does 3 go to 5? Once with the remainder of 2. So
It would
it's
also be
1 with the remainder of 2. Huh?
Wouldn't it be a 9, not a 3?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot the other 3. X.
9.
Okay, what did I do wrong?
The I is negative.
Okay, it's not an I.
That's just a 9.
Yeah. 3 negatives can multiply to get a negative. Only time you would have an I is on a square root, not a cube root. Not really even a fourth root, but anyway.
This is not
So you can just put the negative out in front. 3 negatives can multiply to get a negative. So anyway, it's negative. That is it.
You should run on that side for a while.
Well, I can't see very well.
Can't see it all. No, I don't like it. Wait a minute.
I'll just go back and forth. Probably.
But listen, who needs it more, me or
Ty,
I'm more retarded?
you don't need it. You're not gonna do it anyways.
You gotta do it.
Alright, number 7.
I turned it in, just wrong.
Alright,
3 and 9.
39. So as far as the letters go, now if it's a square root, you can kind of use a decent calculator to simplify square root of 27. But anyway, it's 3 square root of 3 for the number part. And for the letter part, we got, remember if there's no root right here, there's an invisible 2. So 5 divided by 2. How many times 2 go into 5? 2 with the remainder of 1. And what do I do with this b over here? Yeah, nothing. 1 divided by 2 doesn't really work. It's just like remainder of 1 basically, so you just leave the b where it was. Where was the place? Number 9. Computer at 0.125. X 4y6. Well, if they give you a decimal number, that probably means it actually has a cubed root. Like it'll work out perfectly. Does anybody know what times what times what equals 125?
5.
5. So guess what times what times what equals
0.15.
0.125? 0.5. So yeah, the number comes out as just a 0.5. Cubed root of, you could plug that in your calculator too since it comes out perfectly. Cubed root of 0.125 is just 0.5. As far as the letters go, we got 4 divided by 3. So that's 1, remainder of 1. So 1x on the outside, 1x on the inside. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2 with the remainder of 0. So there's no y left behind. There it is. There she was.
We're not even the 5th way done. Dude, how much time do we have?
14 minutes.
Too long.
What color should I do?
Red.
Brown. Red. Not brown.
Light blue, no, you do green.
We need brown.
Do a light blue.
We already said red.
No.
Kayla's quickest on the draw, so we get rid.
Feels dumb.
Red's a good color.
11?
Didn't he get high on roll?
Shut up, you.
Didn't you get nothing?
You got nothing?
Yeah, but I'm not calling him down.
Here you are. Here you are. Keon, has Jordan called you dumb?
What?
Has Jordan called you dumb?
Has she? Yes.
Jordan would never do such a
I would
thing.
never do such a thing. I'm only encouraging and uplifting.
That's good.
Yeah, and I'm white. I guess it doesn't work for that.
Okay, so this one doesn't really simplify like normal.
I can't see that.
Can you not?
Red is not red.
Yeah, see, we should do like a purple.
It's easier. Here,
I like red.
if you're sitting
It
directly in
works.
front, you can see pretty well, but on the edge it gets darker, so I probably need a lighter color.
I can see it red.
If you had like a white screen.
Yeah, do
Oh, I
black.
can't see
Do
blue.
black.
That's worse. That's worse.
What?
That is worse.
I can't see the blue.
Oh,
Yeah, we
oh,
can't
no.
see blue.
Oh no, where am I? I can't see where.
We'll just go
Pink.
white.
Yeah, do pink. Pink's a good color. Kale's good.
White's always better.
That might
That
be-
is true.
Pink. I can't see the white.
Alright, so it says, number 11 says, convert to exponential form. Do you guys remember what that means?
No.
So those
Turn it into a-
squared.
Yeah. This is radical form.
Yes.
This is a radical. Exponents are like powers, right? Like 3 to the 4th. So this is exponential form, or 3 to the 4th. That's exponential form. Okay, on the homework, back when we did this assignment, it was towards the beginning of the year, a lot of us got the number part wrong because we were supposed to break it down to primes. And a lot of you did not break it down into primes, like we did on the odds. So what does 25 break down into?
5 and 5.
5 squared. Okay, you guys remember how this works as an exponent?
Yeah.
5 to the 2 fourths.
Which is 1/2. Which is
Yeah,
basically
which
a square root.
reduces, yes, which reduces to 5 to the 1/2.
Which, yeah.
Okay, and then it's times a to the 3 fourths. And then times b to the 2 fourths, but 2 fourths also reduces to 1/2. So that is it. So number 10 is like that. 10's a little bit easier because the 7 doesn't break down. On 10, remember if there is no number on the radical, then the root, there's an invisible 2 right there. And then x doesn't have an exponent, so there's an invisible 1 for the exponent for x. Alright, so now what we got? Number 13. Same thing in opposite order. So they're starting in exponential form, x to the 2/5 and y to the 1/5. Uh-oh. I just wrote 13's easier than 12, unfortunately. Yeah, they both have a 5th root, right? So we can just put it under a radical to the 5th root. And then just put x squared in there, and then just a y, because it's y to the 1. Okay, we probably should talk about number 12. On 12, the denominators are different. The 2 has a 3 on the denominator, and the a has a 6. So they're different roots. How would I make them the same root?
Multiply 4/3 by 2.
Yes. So, you guys remember turning fractions into common denominators? If you multiply the top and bottom of this one by 2, it would become 8/6. So then you could use the 6th root for both of them. You could put 2 to the 8th in there. I think we actually, when we did this assignment, we actually simplified 2 to the 8th, turned it into a normal number. Yeah, it's 256. Okay, 15. Without using your calculator on 15, is that going to simplify? Okay. What does a 1/2 power mean? What does 1/2 power mean?
Square root.
Is the negative under the square root or is it outside?
Just multiply.
Okay, actually powers kind of, you guys remember order of operations? PEMDAS? Exponents are like the second, exponents, roots are like the same thing as exponents, it's like 64 to the 1/2. They have priority over like multiply and divide and add and subtract. So actually the negative is not under the square root. So 15 is like negative square root of 64. What's the square root of 64? 8. So this is just negative 8, not 8i. Okay, 17. Now, okay, I I will probably put a few of these on here. You can just plug that in your calculator. There's not a calculator that can't do that in here. I don't, well, actually, there probably is one on my desk.
Probably Texas Instrument.
It's, if you get a really simple one, I don't think any of you have a simple one, that simple. So basically, guys, this means 25 cubed and the square root of that. But you can also do it without a calculator because what's this? You can do the square root first. What's the square root of 25? 5. And what's 5 cubed? We talked about that one earlier. 125. Okay, you can use a calculator to do that. You don't have to. But if you know how it works, it's kind of can be faster not to plug in the calculator. 19. Uh-oh. Yeah.
How did you do that?
Hmm? Well, 16 is 2 to the... trying to think if there's a way to do that without a calculator easily. Hmm. Oh, they didn't. Okay, I see. Yeah. Alright, 16 is 2 to the 4th. This is kind of a weird one. What would I do with, what can I do with the exponents right here?
Multiply.
Multiply. So you guys remember multiplying fractions? Let's do 4 over 1 times 5 over 12. So it's 20 over 12. Or 2 to the 20th, 12th root of that. This is not going to simplify to a normal number like the last problem did. So basically, they just did the 20 divided by 12 thing. What's 20 divided by 12? How many times does 12 go to 20? 1 with the remainder of 8. So it's 1 with the remainder of 8. That's almost it, but what does 8/12 reduce to?
4/6.
If you divide by 4, it's 2 and 3. So they simplified that a little bit more. They changed it to that.
Should just do 4.
Or just 4.
Kids.
4 also, yeah. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be that mean to put that one on the test.
Do we have to, like, just simplify it, or put the
Yeah,
answer?
That's as simple as it gets.
Oh, looks like we don't have time for another one.
One more, you say, Jordan?
Nope.
I would just do
No,
it.
it's okay.
Jordan requested one more. I was gonna stop, but I do what she said. Alright, so it's 7. Whoa. 7 square root of 18 minus 3 square root of 2. Oops. So we're adding and subtracting now, and what's the rules on adding and subtracting?
The exponent, or not the X, or the, yeah.
You can only add and subtract like terms. In other words, the square roots have to be the same. They don't look the same right now, but square root of 18 simplifies. Now, because these are square root problems, that means a lot of calculators could do this one. You guys remember this assignment? It seems like a long time ago. It's probably been almost 2 weeks.
21.
More than 2 weeks probably. So this 18 becomes 3 square root of 2. But there's a 7 out in front. What happens with the 7?
Multiply.
Yeah, it means 7 times. So 7 times 3 square root of 2. 7 times 3 is 21. Square root of 2 minus 3. Square root of 2. What's 21 square root of 2 minus 3 square root of 2?
18 square.
Correct. 18 square root of 2. So that's fine if you use your calculator on these. The problem is if they throw in like a cubed root problem, you still need to know how to do it by hand. This calculator won't, but we'll call that good for today. We almost got halfway. We're going to work on this the next 2 days. So